Good evening, YouTube. This is the Intellectual Line Cook, and I'm speaking. Today we're going to have a discussion about Donald Trump in spite of Donald Trump's COVID hypocrisy. I find it very fascinating that in spite of him having COVID, he still has no empathy for his fellow man, but yet many of his rabid followers expect us to have empathy for him. When I see people on Facebook going, oh, well, the same ones who talk so much smack about Obama, who had nothing but smoke for Obama, are the same ones who expect us to show empathy towards the current commander-in-chief. I ain't going to show any. When people say, oh, you should show some empathy and respect. Oh, you mean kind of like when he picked on the disabled reporter respect? Or the one where he criticized a Chinese-American reporter about the coronavirus, and who happened to be a Chinese-American? Kind of respectful? Or he advocated immigrant children that go across the border from being separated from their parents, or keeping Down syndrome children locked and separated from their parents, kind of respectful and empathetic. Or last but not least, kind of sort of how he pushed the birther theory against Obama. For so many years he pushed that theory. This coronavirus, I call it the karma virus. A man who refused to wear a mask, who refused to embrace science. And the fact is that just about the whole White House that got it now, it speaks volumes to the president's failure. He is a symbol of his own failure. And you see this through the fact that even now, having it himself, he still refuses to admit that, hey, you know what, I was wrong. And now he's going to downplay this and act like, oh, this ain't no big deal. This ain't no big deal. That's because you're getting free healthcare at taxpayer expense. And ironically enough, I paid more taxes than he has. He's a so-called billionaire. But yet, he paid less taxes than I did. But these same mainstream Americans will look at me as a black person. They may not say that as a black, but they'll say words like, well, you're not paying taxes, or they'll call me a non-producer. A certain conservative radio show host would call me, because I'm not a multimillionaire. But guess what? Donald Trump's empathy is just so lacking. He didn't even care about them. He was at the donor event knowing more than likely he had COVID. I believe he knew it when he went to the debates. The man has no empathy. And neither do a lot of his followers. These are the same ones who think it's okay to run over protesters. Same people tell us who to respect. Dear white America, do not tell us who our heroes need to be and who we need to respect. You didn't like being told that when it came to Obama. You put out memes falsely accusing him of kissing up to terrorists. Meanwhile, ignoring the history the deals that Ronald Reagan struck with Iran. Remember that meme about Obama kissing the butt of Osama bin Laden? That meme represents him, giving in to terrorists because he made a deal with Iran. Well, I'd rather have a president who openly makes deals with Iran than someone who does it behind the scenes. Ronald Reagan, Republican, Iran-Contra affair. Remember, their missile technology is based on technology that a white guy gave them. A black man didn't do that. And many of these same Trump supporters who are siding with Donald Trump, even now, these are the same people who don't want to wear a mask either. And they don't give a damn about nobody else. Donald Trump is their man. This man has a history of doing misogynist shit. Now, it's funny. In The white women are the main ones who voted for Donald Trump. They're the main reason why he's president. The same ones who abandoned Herman Cain when a white woman comes out, well, he touched my genitals, and because remember, when he was running against Obama, he could have easily got that nomination until that white woman came out. That sunk his chances. But no, but we're not supposed to believe America's still racist. Let's think about how white Americans responded to Colin Kaepernick when he protested, and he had him an opinion. White people were pissed about that. You should stand for our flag, making it a political issue. That you should stand for the flag, like a slave master speaking to a slave. We pay him, but you don't own him. But when Tom Brady was sporting that Make America Great Again hat, and the owner Robert Kraft of the Patriots was sporting that Make America Great Again hat in a sports business. And remember, that was political too. What happened to politics being took out of sports? Oh yeah, that's right. It only applies to black people who have a different opinion from the mainstream. And we know when I say mainstream, we know we mostly mean white conservatives. We know what we mean. You know what I mean by that. But just nothing but crickets. But people want to trip on him. These are the same people. So no, I don't feel no empathy for no conservative who gets it. Because they don't feel no empathy if I were to get it. So why should I feel sorry for Donald Trump? Dude is evil and he's dangerous. He put rich donors at risk. Do you really think he cares about you, some of you white boys who are out here working in restaurants himself, who call yourselves conservatives? He looks at y'all with disdain. So I don't see how anybody who works food service can even support Donald Trump, because we're the type of people he don't care about. Just like Governor Ron DeSantis decided to just bust the gates of hell wide open and open everything at 100%. You can't social distance if it's at 100% capacity. So that means your chance of getting COVID, even as a patron, have shot up dramatically. But because there's this thing about not seeing us as people. Remember, y'all the same assholes who will show up 20, 30 top, and there's only one cook. But expect your food out in 5 minutes. Trump has no empathy, and people who think like him have no empathy for the common man. Even having coronavirus is not going to change that. And even now, he's talking about blocking the stimulus until after the election. Basically, he knows that the average poor folk are starting to see him for what he is, definitely. And we're picking on him a little bit. And, remember, this president is social media savvy, so he knows people are criticizing him. He knows the same people are going to be the ones who need a little help with the stimulus, so he's going to be a dick and hold it back. This dude is a con man. Even his so-called campaign ads also, well, thanks to Donald Trump, the price of insulin is under control. Well, first of all, he's the one who used executive authority to weaken those protections and to constantly attack and weaken Obamacare wherever he can. This is what his Supreme Court pick is all about. Donald Trump is a shapeshifter, and he's just doing what he can to make sure he has power. And he'll do whatever he has to pander in order to have that power. But yet, in spite of all that, people can't see it. Remember, this guy, when people are putting their memes on Donald Trump's fighting corruption, he's draining the swamp. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Donald Trump once a Democrat? Back when Hillary Clinton was running for the Senate, he donated a lot of money to her campaign. Isn't so? Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't she part of the swamp? This isn't some big awakening Donald Trump had. No, 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 no. It's him being a comedian, changing his colors to blend into the environment. Donald Trump's a lot more clever than people think he is. Hell, even I have enough brain power to say, yeah, this dude's a lot more diabolical than people think he is. He's been planning to be president for a long time, even when Obama was first running. There are reasons why when you look at old political clips of people running back in 2007, a lot of people mention, I like Trump. And these are people that, I bet if I look at their Facebook, they would immediately show themselves as suspected white supremacists. These are often the same back to blue people. But it's only back to blue when a white cop is accused of killing a black person. They're not so back to blue when it's a black person being a cop and he accidentally kills a white person. These are the same folks. People do show their racism. The who they like and who they don't like. People show their racism. Most people can't help it. Donald Trump is a symbol of his own failure. But yet the so-called mainstream majority don't care. Our country's going to hell in a handbasket. It is. It's ironic he gets taxpayer-funded health care, but wants to take it away from common folks like myself and others who rely on it. See, he doesn't care if you're healthy. So people go, well, if you give people health care, what's going to be their motivation to work? Hey, dumbass rednecks. If he's sick all the time, what's his motivation to work? The many of you come on our timelines telling us who our heroes need to be. Anyway, I just thought I'd go there. Somebody needed to. I'm the intellectual line cook, and I'm speaking. And I'm speaking.